Hey, I get it when a friend asks whether a high-end gaming laptop is worth the splurge. I'm the one they call because I've already done the legwork. The last thing anyone wants is to drop $3,000 on a machine that looks amazing on paper but turns out to be a daily headache. So before you click buy on a 16-inch beast, let's walk through the real-world experience of the HP OMEN 16, the kind of stuff that only shows up after a few weeks of use. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, the OMEN 16 isn't just a slab of metal with a flashy logo, it's built around a specific workflow. If you spend a lot of time swapping between a 4K monitor for work and a high refresh screen for gaming, the 16-inch WQXGA display with a 240Hz refresh rate is a sweet spot. The 2560x1600 resolution gives you extra vertical real estate compared to a standard 1080p panel, which means you can keep a chat window, a Discord overlay, and the game itself visible at the same time without feeling cramped. In practice, I noticed that while playing a fast-paced shooter, the 3 milliseconds response time actually made the mouse feel more immediate, and the high refresh rate kept motion blur to a minimum. That matters when you're trying to land that clutch headshot and can't afford a visual lag of even a few frames. Now, let's talk power. The Intel Core Ultra 9285H pushes up to 5.4 GHz, and paired with 64 GB of DDR5 RAM, the laptop handles multitasking like a champ. I ran a typical creator setup: Photoshop, Premiere Pro, plus a couple of browser tabs while keeping an RPG running in the background, and the system never stuttered. The RTX 5070 with 8 GB of GDDR7 gives you ray-traced graphics at high settings without the thermal throttling you see on cheaper chips. In real-world terms, you can drop into Cyberpunk 2077 on ultra settings, and the frame rate hovers comfortably around 70 to 80 frames per second, which is more than enough for the 240Hz screen to feel fluid. The GPU also doubles as a decent compute engine for AI-enhanced video rendering. So you're not just buying a gaming machine, you're getting a workstation that won't quit on you when the deadline looms. But there are trade-offs that matter beyond the spec sheet. The first one is size and weight. At roughly 5.5 pounds, the OMEN 16 is definitely portable enough to slide into a backpack, yet it's not the featherweight you'd expect from an ultrabook. I found myself leaving it on my desk during long study sessions because moving it around the apartment was more effort than I wanted to expend. If you travel daily and need to pack light, this laptop might feel like you're lugging a small desktop. On the other hand, if your travel is occasional coffee shop work or a weekend gaming marathon, the extra heft is a small price to pay for the performance you get. Battery life is another hidden factor. With a 99 Wh battery, you'd hope for a full day of use, but the reality is that under heavy gaming loads the charge dips to under an hour. Even in a mixed-use scenario, some gaming, some browsing, the laptop steadies out at around 3 to 4 hours before you need to plug back in. That's a realistic number for a machine with a 240Hz panel and a high-end GPU, but it means you shouldn't count on it as a primary laptop for long flights or long commutes without a power brick. If you need all-day unplugged performance, you'll want to look at something with a larger battery or a more conservative display. Connectivity-wise, HP didn't skimp. Wi-Fi 6 and Bluetooth 5.4 give you solid wireless speeds, and the inclusion of an HDMI 2.1 port lets you hook the laptop up to a 4K TV for a living room gaming session without needing an adapter. The headphone/mic combo jack is standard, but what I appreciated most is the dedicated USB-C port that supports power delivery so you can charge the laptop while it's docked to an external monitor, keeping the desk tidy. The downside? There's only one USB-A slot, so if you run a mouse, a USB-C drive, and an external controller all at once, you'll need a hub. It's a minor inconvenience but worth noting for anyone who runs a cluttered peripheral setup. The keyboard is the kind of thing that can make or break a gaming laptop for many users. HP went with an RG backlit, full-size keyboard with decent travel. In my hands, the keys felt responsive enough for fast-paced games, and the lighting zones can be customized per profile, which is a nice touch for streamers who want to match their rig's aesthetic. However, the keyboard doesn't have a dedicated macro row, so if you rely heavily on programmable keys for MMO shortcuts, you'll need to use software overlays or an external keypad. So who should actually consider spending on the OMEN 16? If you're a serious gamer who also does content creation, think video editing, 3D rendering, or streaming, and you want a single machine that can